When are the Cardinals going to hire their next head coach? We're breaking it down right. Actually, no, we're going to talk about no Jalen Green, no Devin Booker, and no Collin Gillespie tonight. Psychos and sickos unite for an ouch. Ooh, I'm hurt. And on the injury report edition of the PHNX Suns pregame show, of course, brought to you by our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you. At Gila River Resorts and Casinos, visit playatgila.com for more details. I'm Eric, that's Gil. We got Espo and the freckled mama behind the Mac making all of the magic happen. Steven at the morgue, which means our whole squad is available tonight, unlike the Phoenix Suns, who host the Brooklyn Nets in their second game back home. And for the second time this month, they're taking on a Brooklyn team. We've got a lot to get into today. I want to take a little temperature check. Gil, we just watched your college basketball team maybe have the worst late game execution of all time. How are you feeling right now?
I was going to say the team is hurt. My feelings are hurt. So
yeah.
That's how I'm feeling right now.
How are you, Espo?
I'm surprised you didn't take the quarter zip off.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The microphone's covering it, but I'm still repping. I'm repping proudly. So.
Yeah, I'm all right. I mean, I feel like it's a rectal thermometer that you use to get this temperature check after seeing this injury report today. Uncomfortable, not looking forward to it, but still think that they have a path to victory.
Well, let me use a different analogy. Let's rip the Band-Aid off and take a look
that is.
At the injury report presented by our friends over at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841. The Suns will be calling that number. Or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. We'll get to the net side of things in a second. There's a lot to get into there. Jalen Green is out with right hamstring injury management for the second straight game. We'll have some sound from Jordan Ott on him in a second. Devin Booker, of course, continues to be out with his right ankle sprain. He'll be reevaluated in about 5 days. Collin Gillespie was a late addition to the injury report earlier today. He is out with a right hand soreness sprain. That's great.
How do you sprain your whole hand?
I don't know.
I was curious about that too.
Especially your right hand. Sprain the other one. And then Isaiah Livers was probable with an illness and then eventually now ruled out with an illness, which is unfortunate because we were just talking about how great his minutes were. Jordan Ott spoke pregame on how the Suns are going to deal with the injuries. We'll get to that here in a second. But how are you guys feeling about all of that?
I would say next man up, but next men up. Like those are some of the next man ups that we were expecting to be the next man up, and now the next man after that as well. So
the third man up.
The third man, the man after that. It'll be interesting to see. We've seen this team dig deep. This Nets team is scrappy, so it's not going to be easy. I know they've been blown out recently, but they've also played other teams tough. So you're down a couple guys, and we asked last game who's going to step up. Now, like who is going to step up? Because there's going to be a lot of stepping up that's needed.
Paging Jamari Bouye, pick up the orange courtesy phone, Jamari Bouye. I mean, that's where.
Are we paging Kobe Brea?
I don't know. Has he even actually dressed for a game yet?
No, I don't think he has.
Early maybe,
but the guards specifically, Jalen, Book, and of course Collin out. And before we get to Ott, the starting lineup has been released for today's game. Jordan Goodwin.
Okay.
Grayson Allen, Dillon Brooks, Royce O'Neal, Mark Williams.
All right.
So, you've got 3 of your normal starters out there. Grayson is somebody who has started for this team. I think Goody started 1 game for this team earlier in the season as well. Definitely shorthanded. This is what Coach Ott had to say just about the general injury bug that bit this team recently.
Just Collin fell on it in the game. Tried to do as much as he could to get it ready, and then, thought yesterday there would be a chance, and then just woke up this morning. Nothing major, just hard to catch at this point. So Isaiah's just sick. Then the Jalen piece, felt the tightness in the game the other night. Nothing new, no new injury. So obviously he had a workout today after shoot around, and everything seems to be good. We'll just continue to reassess. get him back, get him on the court when he's ready to go.
And Coach had a follow-up question from Dwayne Rankin that asked, do you need to see Jalen do a 5-on-5 before you get him back into a game?
No, I don't think so, Dwayne. He had enough before he came back the last time, so it's more just feel good. You know, the objective measure's good. We're right there. You know, it's nothing new, so that was helpful. Just ease the mind. He's been out 2 months, you know, so some of that is expected. It's obviously a new era for him too. Like, he's never had something like this. So when he feels right, he'll be back out there. Dying to get back out there. We're dying to have him out there, but we want to have him right.
Are you guys surprised that Jalen now misses his second straight game after being listed as questionable?
No. I mean, the fact that they pulled him from that game, put him on the injury list, it does not surprise me. Would not surprise me if he misses the next game. I mean, he's not going to play in back-to-back. I guarantee that. So would not shock me if he misses the next one.
I was going to say precedent would show that they tend to like to bring guys back on the second end of a back-to-back, and having a back-to-back Thursday and Friday. Thursday's probably another absence. Friday will mark a full week. So, yeah, we might be preparing for another absence later this week too.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and I've been saying this, Detroit or Cleveland feels likely. The fact that he's been listed as questionable, I know it kind of like teases people, but I think if they just outright ruled him as out, it would catch a lot of people's attention and be concerning. They're just going to be extra cautious. Honestly, going into tonight, I was mentally prepared. All right, no Jalen, no Book. How are you going to go out there and how are you going to win? And a big part of that, somebody that we've talked about, is Collin Gillespie. You heard Ott say what happened with Collin. This is what Jordan Ott had to say about missing Collin.
The way the league is going and how hard our guys are playing, and every other night, 82 of these, the ability to be available is super powerful. And then not only be available, but play well in your minutes, and that's what he's done. He had an opportunity, he had a crack at this thing this year, and he's fully taken advantage of it. So, and it's just grit, toughness, leadership. Diving on the floor the other night, end the game. So, but we got others. We'll find something else. This is not long term, just a short term injury, and when he's ready to go, I'm sure he'll be back out there. That was part of it. Like, that's why it changed throughout the day. He tried everything he could to get out there, just not able to do it tonight.
Obviously, you don't want him not playing, right? That's the worst part about it, but it is good to hear short-term stuff, and it's like seems like a matter of comfort and ability to do things. So again, I don't know much about sprained hands. I'm sure it just means you sprain some part of the hand, and they just say the whole hand as far as that goes. So I'm curious to see how long it actually takes for him to get comfortable. Catching the ball is really important for a player that has the ball in their hands a lot. So maybe it's just a one-game thing. Hopefully it's just a one-game thing. But he played it really well last week in Brooklyn. So again, that means that somebody's gonna have to step up. And I don't know if they'll be able to make 5 threes, but they have to do it by committee.
Yeah, I love that Jordan Ott is treating this like some guys treat dating apps on a Saturday night. The best ability is availability,
Yeah.
and that's what it's coming down to with this roster. Do we have any guard that's down there willing to play or able to play?
Well, I said earlier this year that the Suns have the deepest guard rotation in the NBA, and the basketball god said, okay,
We'll see.
okay, let's figure that out here. Because look, Jordan Goodwin's been playing phenomenal this year. I don't know if he's a starting guard phenomenal, but he's been good. Grayson Allen is a starting level guard in this league. He's been coming off of the bench since returning from his right knee injury management. But he's a starting level guard. He is somebody that can drop 20 plus points in a game, could maybe catch fire, get to 30 as well. Those are two guys you're looking at. It's when you go the next level down. We've all been big fans of Jamari Bouye in that guard rotation. He didn't look too great in his first NBA action back against the Heat. That being said, the concussion stuff is tricky. Trust me, I know about that. And also, he is somebody who hadn't played for a long time, and he played in the G League, but that's different than playing in the NBA. He might have just been a little bit rusty. Okay, what about beyond that, right? Because this team, they've got almost all their forwards still healthy. You still have Ryan Dunn coming off the bench, Dillon and Royce, who are starting. You still have your centers, Oso and Mark, both available tonight, both healthy. Let me knock on wood real quick.
Please, yeah.
Because we know that can change in the blink of an eye. So who else on the forward side of things can maybe handle the ball a little bit more, pass the ball a little bit more, maybe step into that role that you're going to need since you're missing your 3 top ball handling shooters?
I mean, Royce would be the one that we've seen be able to pass it. We know that Dillon at times is allergic to it, and Ryan, that's just not his game. So I think Royce, if you're looking at the forwards that are going to be able to help facilitate a little bit, it's going to be Royce.
Royce is the one that comes to mind as well. And then thinking just if he's doing more of that, we talked at length about Ryan Dunn potentially being out of the rotation. So not in the sense of doing more facilitating and ball handling, but going in and doing more of what he needs to do so the other forwards like Royce can focus on that. And maybe we can see Dillon do some things that are a little more uncharacteristic just off of need. And he's shown the ability to do it in spots, but consistently for all 30, 35 minutes that he's out there will be a tough test for him, but he did play well last time in Brooklyn. So, maybe he can build on that.
Give me Rasheer. I want Rasheer minutes. I want,
Yeah.
You should get him,
if
right?
Livers isn't getting rotational minutes, you've already started to shy away from Dunn a little bit. I think you give Rasheer an opportunity tonight to say, hey, we're shorthanded. What can you do to help us win this game?
Well, and that's going to be the fascinating part about the rotations. And I know a lot of people say, okay, Isaiah Livers out, not a big deal, but we've been talking about it the last few days. And honestly, this whole season, Isaiah Livers has gotten a good chunk of minutes for this team. And maybe the stats haven't been there like they were against the Heat last game, but they've always been impactful. Ryan Dunn, Rasheer Fleming, what are you guys going to do tonight? I imagine both play. Who plays more? Who's higher on the pecking order right now between Dunn and Rasheer in a situation like this? I know it's like, okay, your centers are healthy, but is this a game where you dip into, come on, right? Go deeper into the reserves into Nick if something's not working. I'm not sure. I'm going to be fascinated by what Jordan Ott does with these rotations. And I think forward facilitating, yeah, I look at Royce. I think Ryan can pass a little bit. Obviously, Oso is going to be handling the ball a lot. He's your center that's going to be doing that. And then from the guard position, Grayson Allen might have to get a ton of assists tonight like he did against Brooklyn, like he did against Philly, where he had 8 and then 6 in those games. There's going to be a lot of focus on Grayson. Dillon's just going to be taking shots. And I know there are some people who are maybe not loving the idea of we're going into tonight. We're going to see probably like 20 plus shots from Dillon Brooks. But my response to that is, who else is going to take those shots? Who else is going to take the mid-range self-creation shots if literally 3 of your best at doing that are out?
I mean, Grayson, Royce, you're going to...
I don't want Royce taking a mid-range shot.
Well, I'd rather have Royce take a mid-range shot than a layup. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know about that.
I've seen...
Let's stick to threes.
Yeah, you're going to have Dillon do that, but you can't have it come at the expense of the ball sticking and that things don't move. You saw how few assists they had last game, and it was very much not Suns basketball. Now, part of that is because how much Miami switches their style of defense, but the Nets are pretty good at that as well tonight. So you're going to have to figure out how you get into those actions. How are you continuing to move the ball around? And if tonight's offense is Dillon Brooks gets the ball, dribbles, makes a move, takes a shot, he's going to have to go 20 for 20 or 22 for 23 if this team wants to win, if they're not moving the basketball around, and it just sticks with him.
That's the thing that's interesting about him. I think we've talked about it really when he was kind of having that surprising explosion to start the year, that the team wasn't really running anything for him, and he was getting the late shot clock stuff, and it's kind of looked different as time has gone on. Well, tonight they're probably going to have to run things for him, and I think that will be key to the offensive flow. What kind of things can he get out of the offensive sets, which means it will be assisted buckets, some catch and shoot threes within the flow of the offense. Offensive flow is going to probably be a big word that I could hear us saying a lot post-game, win or lose, because if they win, it will be because the offense was flowing. If they lose, it'll be because the ball is sticking, especially against this Nets team.
Do you simplify it though? Do you try to run a little bit more pick and roll with with Grayson and Mark? Do you try to do things that are less than the full offensive accoutrement because you're missing so many guys? We didn't see a lot of the Vroom action last game, in part because of Miami's defense, but you're also missing 2 of the guys that you'd run that with a lot in Book and in Jalen. So do we see a fundamentally shifted offense tonight to try to match the guys you have, or do you just keep running the things you have even though you don't have your offensive horses?
That'll be interesting to see. I think, we've talked about it, and that's what something Steven talked about last game. It's not as plug and play as the Heat did. The Heat were able to just next person just do the same thing the person ahead of you does. We haven't really seen that, as you said, last game. So is it simplifying? Is it some more dribble handoff, some dribble drive type stuff, some pick and roll, getting things downhill? That'll be key. I think the other thing that'll be key, because he didn't see very much of it on Sunday, forcing turnovers and getting some stuff in transition.
Yeah.
Because if you can get some fast break points, that kind of loosens things up and allows you to score, obviously, and then there's less pressure on getting stuff in the half court. So my first eye is forcing turnovers and getting stuff in transition, but to the second point, simplifying some things on offense and trying to run some pet plays and pet actions like that.
Well, you also can't do what you did against Miami, which is a bunch of boneheaded, stupid turnovers, especially early in the game, where it's like, okay, your effort is there, but like your execution isn't there. You got to be sharp. And look, I get it. A lot of people are going to see the Brooklyn Nets. They're going to be like, oh, it's the Brooklyn Nets. Who cares? The Suns beat the crap out of them last time. Well, everybody but Jalen was playing last time. But it's also a team with an identity. And I think that's a perfect time to get into our credit check. Of course, brought to you by our friends over at Mountain America Credit Union, the official credit union of the Phoenix Suns, and the best commercial ever for Oso Ighodaro. So you mentioned, Espo, the Nets like to switch a lot on defense, but it's not just on defense they have an identity. It's also on offense. And it's called handoff madness here because the Brooklyn Nets like to hand the ball off a lot. And I mean a lot. 1,568 handoffs so far this year.
What is it, Drew Petzing running the offense?
That's a good joke. That's good.
That's good.
That's first in the NBA. 37.1 handoffs per 100 possessions. That's first in the NBA. 1,261 points scored off handoffs. That's first in the NBA. 28.7 points per game via handoffs. That's first in the NBA. 50.8% effective field goal percentage. That is 19th in the NBA, but on the volume, that's still a good volume to have it on. And 0.97 points per chance. That's 15th, dead even in the NBA. But again, they lead the NBA in the amount of attempts. So if they're dead even in points per chance, obviously that is a pretty good marriage. When you look defensively tonight, the Suns, I think more so than maybe a lot of other games against lower level teams, they're going to have to be sharp. And they cannot give up some open threes that they're giving up against Miami.
I think they're going to have to be sharp in part because I don't think they're going to be crisp offensively. I think there will be some turnovers early because you're going to have weird rotations, guys that aren't used to playing together, potentially some slight changes in your offense. So I think early on, they're going to have to make up for it with turnovers of their own, forcing turnovers on the net side of the basketball, and have to do that all night because that's been their recipe for success the entire season is forcing turnovers. They're one of the best in the league when it comes to steals. They need to get out there and do that tonight, even against a lesser opponent in the Nets. But really, they're not a lesser opponent right now with as many injuries as you have.
Yeah, think about the word that comes to my mind with the Nets offense is comfort. We saw that second quarter they had last week. I think it was 42 points. Yeah. They started making some shots. And I think the big part that leads to getting so many points out the hands-offs, a lot of times they're making threes off of those, right? Mm-hmm. And Michael Porter Jr., chief among the people doing so, and a lot of tough shots that he makes as well. So thinking about just making them uncomfortable, because if you don't let them settle in, then they won't get into some type of rhythm. And if it means making it a rock fight to get the win, sure. Make it a rock fight against the 12-28 Nets when they're, whatever their record is at this point, 12-30.
Really bad. And
it's really bad, yeah.
Two significant losses out of the last three.
week. So make it a rock fight against them if you have to, but just make them uncomfortable with what they want to get into offensively.
Yeah, I do that. That should be your entire game plan tonight, is worrying about just making the Nets uncomfortable, which should lead to easier baskets for you. This is not a very good team, and you still have a lot of your defensive horses. Go out there, force the issue tonight, and control the pace of things.
Well, I know it's tough for a team that's 8 games over 500 to go out there and be like, this is also a pretty important game to win. But if you lose tonight, it's a 3-game losing streak for the Suns, which we have not seen a lot of so far this year, which is why I'm high on our next segment, which is our Suns must win meter. I am all the way up there at a 10. Espo, you're also at a 10. Gil, you're at a 9. Ayrton's at an 8.5. Steven, who cares? He's gone. He's at a 5. It evens out to an 8.5, but without Steven, it would definitely be a 9+. I know why I'm at a 10 tonight. Why are you guys so high?
Even missing guys, good teams don't lose to extremely bad teams. You cannot let one of the easier games you have on your schedule over the next handful of weeks go by without getting the win. You need it tonight. Stop the streak. And you know what? You have 2 very tough games coming up in Cleveland and Detroit. You need the win.
Absolutely. What my reason when I was sending in my must-win level, I thought about what we said the other day. You lose 2 games in a row, you lose 2 games in a row, you lose 3 games in a row, it's a streak. And you don't want to go on a losing streak, especially knowing, your homestand is basically you're almost at the halfway point of your homestand. And as you mentioned, it's Cleveland, it's Detroit, it's the Clippers that are all looming on the other side of this. So this is a key one. Not saying that you're going to lose those next 3 games, but you can't afford to lose this one. Build some momentum going into the weekend.
This is the worst team you're going to play until March.
That's
Seriously,
nuts,
until,
yeah.
from now until the end of February, you're going to face 4 teams under 500. It was 3, but the Trailblazers are now under 500, but they've been playing great basketball as of late. They're only 1 game under 500. Okay, you're playing the Clippers, who are 21-24. Guess what? They've been one of the best teams in the NBA over the last month and a half. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Then you play the Mavericks, who are 19-27. They're under 500. Okay, guess what? They're still 6-4 in their last 10, and a couple of those losses, they were up on some teams that are higher than them in the standings. This is the worst team you're playing until you get a stretch of Eastern Conference games where I'm talking like Charlotte and Milwaukee, which, okay, Milwaukee might crash out, but Charlotte's on the way up. Like,
They're still Charlotte.
There's
very few good things that come from Charlotte.
That's fair, except for their starting lineup.
We have one
of them. This is one of your only chances to get a win against a very low-tier team, basically for the rest of the year. Now, it's unfortunate that the injury report looks like the way that it looks, but you're at home and you're still a better team. And let's look at the Nets injury report, because that is something that we glossed over a little bit. Cam Thomas is playing tonight. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for the Nets. All I remember is that the last time Cam Thomas played against the Suns, it was in China and he couldn't miss a shot. Nolan Traore is probable with an illness. Noah Clowney is out. Haywood Highsmith is out. And Tyrese Martin, the Suns killer, is out. But they still have a good amount of talent. Yegor Devin is somebody as a rookie who's been very effective this year, especially from deep. Nick Claxton. I wish Steven was here to talk about Nick Claxton, the amount that he loves that guy. It's crazy. Noah Clowney is still an impressive big as well. Like Brooklyn has guys that can give the Suns problems. They're not a good team, but this is the NBA. They're certainly a team that can beat the Suns without 3 of their best offensive players and 3 of their best overall players. This is going to be fascinating to see how the Suns play tonight, especially coming off of a brutal loss against Miami.
The Nets are scrappy. I know they lost last week to the Knicks by 50, but they bounced back by mounting a pretty impressive comeback against the Celtics and being in a position where they should have won, but I think the bad little habits came in and they lost that game. But Celtics, I think, were without Derek White in that game, so they're used to taking advantage of teams that aren't at full strength. So again, it's not going to be easy. This Nets team is scrappy. Michael Porter Jr., obviously the head of the snake, and he struggled last game. I don't necessarily expect him to go 2 of 10 from 3 again. That will be a key, but if he has a better shooting night, it becomes that much tougher. Yegor Devin wasn't available last time these 2 teams played. I don't think Cam Thomas played last game either. So this is a different Nets team than the one you saw, 8 days ago.
Look, Nets may be scrappy, but that's been kind of your calling card as well. So show some pride, go out there and do the things that have put you in this position and accept, we don't have all the offensive horses, but we know how to play defense and push that. And by the way, Ting, yes, Tings, we do read the chat. Thanks for being here today.
Yes, we read every single chat, but we do not acknowledge every single chat. That's just how it goes. Let's get into SBG's keys for a win tonight. Key number 1 is tempo. Use the first 6 seconds of the clock offensively and I would assume efficiently. Key number 2, body up with Michael Porter Jr., one of the hardest covers in the NBA. And key number 3 is a key that I'm already going to say is the most important one. Commit to the glass collectively. We saw it against Miami. You look at the rebounding numbers. Okay, it doesn't look that bad. But when you watch the game, Miami got so many backbreaking second chance opportunities that led to points. If you're going to win without good offensive players, you need to limit the opposing team's options on the offensive end. And offensive rebounds open up too many of them to count.
Well, Miami got a lot of them early on too, which this may be the one silver lining that you have with the injuries is you have Jordan Goodwin in that starting lineup, a very good rebounder for his position and a guy that is known to get offensive rebounds on his side of the ball too. So hopefully that can help you even it out. But yeah, you got to be aggressive on the glass all night. Too many second chance points is going to put the Nets in the same position Miami was to beat you and beat you handily.
Yeah, that's important. I think about that, and I also think about the first 6 seconds on the shot clock when you are trying to actually move with intention. You see what happens when it just runs late, and then you're not getting good quality shots. We talked about that a lot, and also talked a little bit about Michael Porter Jr. One thing I remember I kept saying during that game, he just saw a body. When he was cutting, somebody touched him. When he was trying to come off a handoff, somebody was there. And comfort again. Some of the other guys got comfortable, but I don't ever think he really got comfortable. And you mentioned how tough of a cover he is. 6'10" guy who shoots the way that he shoots the ball and has that high release point. It's not an easy task to slow him down. So the biggest thing you can do is make him uncomfortable. Throw the timing off a little bit. Show him bodies anytime he's trying to have any type of action on or off the ball, and that will be half of your work as far as slowing him down.
Chachion in the chat says, Collin Gillespie hasn't really done much in several games. The last time they played Brooklyn, Collin dropped 22 points. Book dropped 24 points. Of course, no Jalen Green, but that's still 46 combined points in a game that you didn't win by 46. And yeah, that defense is going to be very important. I do like the idea of both Jordan Goodwin and Dillon Brooks on the court to start a game against this Nets team. That's going to be fun. But Stevens brought it up so much about how Jordan Goodwin is kind of that tone setter for the second unit. Can Jamari, can Ryan, can Rasheer, can whoever's coming off of the bench, maybe it's Oso, help set the tone in that way. I'm looking to set the tone in our betting tonight because I've been handed a golden opportunity. I've been given a handoff just like the Brooklyn Nets do. Let's get into our pregame picks, of course, presented by our friends over at Bet365. Sign up, use code PHNX365, deposit 10, place a bet for 5, get $200 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 plus and physically located in Arizona. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT-STEP to 52342, or visit PromGambling.az.gov. I opened up Bet365. You can put that away. I opened up Bet365 earlier today looking for a lifeline, okay? Not the helpline, I've already called that, but a lifeline. And lo and behold, I click on the promos tab in the top left corner. There's like a little notification on it. I click on it and it says, Eric, doesn't say Eric, but just welcome here. It says, Eric, we see that you are almost negative $200 in your betting competition. And we're here to help you. Psychos and sickos unite to give Eric a 100% profit boost.
Ayrton, did we confirm this?
Look at the screenshot.
I do not trust.
It's confirmed.
Is it Photoshop?
It's
have we checked?
Photoshopped.
It is confirmed.
It is
Alright,
a confirmed 100% profit boost. So I said, you know what? Some people would take it easy with that. Not me. I'm getting out of the negative tonight, baby. Dillon Brooks, 20-plus points. Mark Williams, over 21.5 PRA. Royce O'Neal, over 19.5 PRA. Oso Ighodaro, over 7.5 assists and rebounds. And Dillon Brooks, over half a stock. So either a block or a steal. Put all that together. I'm getting $230 back. I take the lead if this hits.
You know that parable where they're talking about, hey, I wish I could only get some help. And then there's help, but they ignore it.
Yeah.
You just got that and you ignored it. You're going to drown.
No, I feel good about this one, okay? Gil, you're in first place.
For
What
now,
are you putting your
until
money
that
on
is.
tonight?
I want to keep it simple. We're
Put
dangerous.
Aaron Sharp in a
We're
bet.
dangerously.
You call the number, brother.
Hey, listen. It's a little 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's have a little fun. You know, Noah Conley's not playing, so Day'Ron Sharp, 5+ points. Mark Williams, 10+ points. Grayson Allen, 15+ points. Michael Porter Jr., 20+ points. Plus 190 with a 50% profit boost. I just got to see one go through again.
I love that you're trying to teach the kids their 5 multiplication table
exactly.
there.
Somebody's gotta
always
do it.
helping the kids.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, I guess we'll look at mine. I didn't get no 100% profit boost here, but I'm having a seizure apparently. I did not get any big profit boost here, but this is my bet. No, that's not. Yeah, it is. Grayson Allen, 5+ assists. Oso Ighodaro, 15% or 15+ points, and Mark Williams, 7+ rebounds. That's plus 2,300 with a 50% profit.
That's a
boost.
that's big odds, man.
Yeah.
That's bigger odds than mine.
Yeah.
Oso points are. I mean,
15 plus Oso
I'm rooting
points
for everybody.
I'm not desperate. I'm just sticking to my normal.
Let's see,
you swing big.
Ighodaro career.
I'm pretty sure it would be.
I think it's
pretty damn close
17.
to a career high.
I think his career high is 17.
Someone's got to score tonight.
Has the night of his life. Yeah, exactly. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Now
know why.
Ayrton's gonna take the winnings though if I
'Cause his
win.
name's on it.
Because his name's on it.
I'm about to say that was a fire move from Ayrton.
And then it'll be it was Bet365's fault or Slack's fault. It wasn't. Yeah.
His career high is 17 points. I believe that was against the Pacers when he set the NBA record for plus minus. So all
Lock
you
in.
need is that again.
Lock in.
Ayrton, what are you putting your money on tonight? How are you getting out of the negative?
This one is actually my bet. I got Grayson Allen over 20.5 points, Dillon Brooks over 17.5 points, Mark Williams over 21.5 PRA, and Royce O'Neal to hit 2 or more threes tonight. That's plus 470 with a 50% profit
Good
boost.
bet. You and I will be rooting for a lot of the same things, Ayrton. Look, it's time to watch Nets Suns. Let's get into our score predictions here. Do the Suns pull off a win? We all think so. Steven, 115, 111. Espo, 118 to 109. Gil, 114, 108. I'm taking a low scoring affair. I think it's going to get ugly. 106 to 104. Final thoughts, gentlemen, on Suns Nets on a Tuesday night.
Hey, it's a Tuesday. You got to have faith. Just hopefully they win.
On a Tuesday, I am thinking that we'll come back here in about 2.5 hours, and we'll be pleasantly surprised with what we saw from this team.
If not, I'll be sad. Unless I hit my bet. And we'll
So he'll be sad.
talk to you later.
Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.